Hello everyone, welcome to another video on our channel News Faster. We're back with more tributes. This video features a list of American big celebrities who died recently or within the last few days. Number 1. John Robinson. John Robinson, the seasoned football coach who had a great deal of success with the Los Angeles Rams and at USC, passed away. He was 89. Robinson's death was announced by the Rams on Monday. According to a news statement from USC, he passed away in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, following complications related to pneumonia. Robinson is among the few football coaches who have had notable success in both the collegiate and professional levels. He won postseason games and consistently challenged for titles with both the Rams and USC, finishing 75-68 and 104-35-4 respectively. Robinson, who went 8-1 in the postseason with USC and UNLV, was especially effective in bowl games. Ronnie Lott, an All-American safety who played under Robinson at USC, stated, "Coach Robinson was one of the greatest college coaches ever, and his love for USC and his love for the game of football was second to none. I have always thought that when we performed for him, he made us feel like we were bigger than life. Additionally, his dedication to ensuring that our lives encompassed more than simply football was exceptional." Robinson's 2 successful stints at USC earned him a spot in the College Football Hall of Fame. Over his 9 years with the NFL team, he also became the Rams' most successful coach. Only last month did Sean McVay surpass Robinson's career win total. From 1976 to 1982 and again from 1993 to 1997, Robinson served as a coach at USC. His Trojans won 4 Rose Bowls and 5 conference crowns, and he never had a losing record at the institution. Heisman Trophy-winning running backs Marcus Allen, 1981, and Charles White, 1979, were part of Robinson's unrelenting rushing attacks. "Coach Robinson was very demanding, but in a human way," said Paul McDonald, who was the quarterback for Robinson's USC team in 1979, which was incredibly gifted. "He knew how to connect with people and had excellent interpersonal skills. You wanted to run through walls and play hard for him. He loved you so deeply that you cared about him." After joining the Rams in 1983, Robinson won 4 playoff games, advanced to 2 NFC championship games, and made it to the postseason 6 of his first 7 seasons. Before their game against the Miami Dolphins on Monday night, the Rams held a minute of silence for Robinson at SoFi Stadium. Following his second stint at USC, Robinson coached UNLV for 6 seasons and briefly served as the athletic director for the Rebels. Most recently, from 2019 to 2021, he served as a senior consultant at LSU under Coach Ed Orgeron. Robinson was raised in the Bay Area after being born in Chicago on July 25, 1935. He went to prep school with his close buddy John Madden and completed high school in 1954. Before starting as a coach with the Ducks, he was a tight end for Oregon's 1958 Rose Bowl winning squad. In 1972, he joined John McKay as offensive coordinator at USC, where he coached the squad that went 10-1-1 in 1974 and the undefeated 1972 Consensus National Championship team. When McKay took over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 1976, Robinson rejoined USC after spending a year away from the Trojans to play for Madden with the Oakland Raiders. Robinson guided USC to 7 successful seasons, winning the Rose Bowl in 3 of his first 4 years as coach and the Pac-8 or Pac-10 championship. Bear Bryant's Alabama won the AP title, while his 1978 squad was crowned the UPI Coaches Poll's national champion. During his career, Robinson coached a lengthy list of famous players, including Bruce Matthews, Anthony Munoz, Lott, and Allen, all of whom are inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. When Robinson joined the Rams in 1983, who played their home games in Anaheim, California, he continued to win. Robinson's teams had 6 postseason appearances with an offense powered by Eric Dickerson, but they lost 2 conference title games to the eventual Super Bowl victors. Robinson won a 4th Rose Bowl during his second stint at USC, but the school fired him after the 1997 year. After that, he took over as coach of UNLV from 1999 until 2004, after the team had lost 16 straight games. In just his second season, he led the Rebels to just the 3rd bowl appearance in school history. However, he left the school after the 2004 season, when they finished 28-42. In 2003, he defeated number 14 Wisconsin 23-5, one of his more noteworthy wins. Eric Harper, athletic director at UNLV, stated, "Today, football lost a legend." The players, teammates, supporters, and peers all held Coach Robinson in high regard. He had an amazing life both on and off the football field, serving as a coach and administrator here at UNLV. As we honor John's contributions to the sport both nationally and locally in Las Vegas, our thoughts and prayers are with his family. In between coaching, Robinson worked for many years as a radio and television broadcaster. 5 years ago, he resumed playing football at LSU as a consultant to former USC coach Orgeron. Robinson's wife, Beverly, 4 children, 2 stepchildren, and 10 grandchildren survive him. Number 2. Roy Haynes. At the age of 99, Roy Haynes, the groundbreaking jazz drummer who played alongside such luminaries as Charlie Parker, Lester Young, and Sarah Vaughan, passed away on Tuesday. Leslie Haynes Gilmore, his daughter, confirmed his death to Nate Chinen of WRTI. To listen to any one aspect of Roy Haynes's drumming on its own is to face a significant aspect of jazz and its potential. Each of the following is worth listening to separately: the light and shifting ride cymbal patterns, the irregular bass drum accents, the well-structured breaks or context-smashing disturbances on snare, and the hi-hat's clarifying semaphore. However, who is responsible for that? It is preferable to listen to every component working as a single, intricate organism. Haynes performed in a style that combined all of his remarkable musical details with human traits like grace, humor, excitement, coolness, confidence, and vigor. During his performances, he stood toward the front of the stage and tap danced, occasionally as a crucial component of a drum solo. He might be the one to get you started if you weren't trained to listen intently to the drummer in a group. He wasn't merely a member of the rhythm section in any group. As Sarah Vaughan explains in the opening to her 1954 song, "Surely a Bop," he was in between his snare drum hits, crack, Roy, tat, 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 Haynes. New jazz styles were assimilated by Haynes, but even in modern times he was kept up to date by the older aspects of his style, which date back to the 1940s and 1950s and include the strut, bounce, swing, and dance in his beat. "I'm only happy when I'm moving forward," he told Bert Correll, that writer. "Every night some musicians perform the same songs in the same manner. I'm not capable of that. My basic style might not be all that different." However, a lot of new items have been added. Haynes was born on March 13, 1925, and grew up in a unique family in Roxbury, a culturally integrated area in Boston. He characterized his street as a mix of black families from the South, French-Canadian, Jewish, and Irish families. His father was employed at Standard Oil, and his parents, Gustavus and Edna Haynes, were both Barbados natives. In church, Gustavus played the organ and both sang. After a year of violin lessons, Roy knew he wanted to concentrate on percussion. With the exception of a brief stint at the Boston Conservatory and an early lesson from Roxbury drummer Herbie Wright, he became a voracious learner who primarily learned by watching, practicing, and performing, something he was doing so frequently by the middle of his adolescence that he left Roxbury Memorial High School. The Count Basie drummer Joe Jones, whom he first met as a youngster by chatting his way backstage at a Basie show at the RKO Boston Theater and claiming to be Jones's son, taught him a lot about playing the hi-hat. He was drawn to the best. His first engagements were with the Boston-based artists Sabby Lewis, Peter Brown, and Mabel Robinson Sims. In 1945, bandleader Louis Russell called him to New York. And for a few reasons, this is where his artistic journey truly starts. One is that his talent and temperament would never allow him to be a regional anomaly. The second reason is that Haynes arrived in New York during a time of rhythmic change, close to the start of the avant-garde and creatively broken bebop style. It might have been more heavily influenced by other drummers, especially Max Roach and Kenny Clarke. However, Haynes was one of the people who advanced and improved bebop drumming. Whatever else may be said about Haynes as a bandleader and individual skill, it must also be recognized that he collaborated with a staggering array of significant jazz figures, who constitute a significant portion of a whole cultural tradition, as well as a musician's curriculum vitae. Here is a partial list of them, roughly in the order of when Haynes played with them, starting in 1946, Louis Armstrong, Lester Young, 1947 to 49, Bud Powell, Miles Davis, Parker, on and off from 1949 to 1953, including on the opening night of the legendary 52nd Street Club Birdland, Stan Getz, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, 1953 to 58, Sonny Rollins, Billie Holiday, during some of the last performances of her life in 1959, Thelonious Monk, 1957 to 58, Phineas Newborn, Jr., John Coltrane, Andrew Hill, Chick Corea, Archie Shepp, Gary Burton, Alice Coltrane, Stanley Cowell, Pat Metheny, Danilo Perez, Duke Ellington. What about him? In 1952, while Haynes was working with Parker, Ellington made an offer to hire him. Sensing that his manner might be too disruptive for the band's more experienced members, he politely declined. Haynes participated in important jazz recordings. His one-day session with Bud Powell on August 8, 1949, produced the timeless hits Dance of the Infidels, Whale, and Bouncing with Bud. His records with Sarah Vaughan, including As Swingin' Easy at Mr. Kelly's and In the Land of Hi-Fi, are foundational to the jazz vocals canon. Vaughan was highly regarded by Haynes, who referred to her as a pure genius. He can be heard on two of Thelonious Monk's greatest albums, Thelonious in Action and Misterioso, which were both recorded live at the Five Spot Cafe in New York in 1958. He appears on Coltrane's Incisive Impressions and Newport 63, as well as 3 jazz arrangement masterpieces published in 1961, Getz's Focus, Oliver Nelson's Blues and the Abstract Truth, and Ray Charles's Genius plus Soul equals Jazz. He contributed to Chick Corea's Now He Sings, Now He Sobs, and Gary Burton's Duster, 2 of the more significant albums of the 1960s that were released shortly after Coltrane's passing. Additionally, in 2010, he appeared on Sonny Rollins' Grammy-nominated live album, Roadshows Volume 2, alongside Rollins and Ornette Coleman. Bandleader Haynes' discography spans the years 1954 to 2011. It features the post-bop classic We Three, featuring pianist Phineas Newborn Jr. and bassist Paul Chambers. Out of the Afternoon, recorded in 1962, as one of the great documents on the edge of the straight-ahead jazz tradition and the early 1960s vanguardist New Thing. Hip Ensemble, a funk gospel semi-free jazz record from 1971 with his band of the same name, and Fountain of Youth, recorded in 2003 at the age of 79 with his late-period band of the same name, blasting through songs connected to the band leaders he played with throughout his lengthy career, including Monk. In addition to his skill as a musician, Haynes' success can undoubtedly be ascribed in part to his drug-free and disciplined lifestyle, and some may have been because he made a powerful and alluring impression while driving a sharp car and wearing sharp clothing. A 1960 article by George Fraser in Esquire magazine listed him as one of the best-dressed men of that year, alongside Dean Acheson, Clark Gable, and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. It noted his preference for custom-made suits from the Andover shop in Cambridge, Massachusetts. He would later become interested in cowboy hats, gaucho pants with side buttons, and satin coats. Extremes were irrelevant in Haynes's entire sound. Even though he could perform with great speed, volume, rhythmic dislocation, or delicacy, Haynes's musical presence with his band was characterized by John Coltrane, with whom he collaborated intermittently in the early 1960s on records such as Impressions and Newport 63 as a spreading, a permeating. Regarding his approach, Haynes was once informed by Charles Mingus that you don't always play the beat, you suggest the beat. If he was in your rhythm section, you were working with one of the most prominent, perceptive, and quicksilver styles in jazz, in addition to getting dependable foundation and backing. Whoever I was playing with, he stated, I think they probably wanted me for what I was trying to do.